And all right, guys, what is going on? How are you all doing? Welcome back to another podcast on the Creator Chats podcast. Today, guys, I'm joined by my homie, Jordan. And before he gives himself a little bit of context to who he is, Jordan and I, we've known each other for quite a while. We actually went to school together, and now we're both doing our own thing. So with that said, guys, Jordan, give it away, bro. A little bit of information, who you are, kind of what you're doing, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I'd like to start off by saying my name is Jordan Diniz, and thank you, David, for having me on today's podcast. So I'm 21 years old. I'm an aspiring chef. I recently just came back from Italy, working some Michelin stars, kind of bouncing around in and out of restaurants in the city, Pickering as well. George Brown alumni. I did 2 years of culinary management, 1 year of Italian postgrad, and right now I'm a sous chef downtown.
So just an overall badass. It was so funny. The first thing that happened is Andrew came in and he had like a little cake from his girlfriend. He was like, yo, man, I swear you guys tried. It's really good. I was like, Jordan will let us know if it's good. Yeah, man. So, wow. So right now you are working. And again, guys, like this is me genuinely asking. We made sure we didn't talk too much beforehand so I could pick Jordan's brain. So right now you said you're working downtown in a... what's kind of the downtown flex right now?
Yeah, so right now I'm working at Amsterdam Brewery.
Nice.
So that's the first time I've ever actually told anyone that I've been working there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I haven't really even posted it. It's social media or nothing.
It's okay to say?
Yeah,
it's all
it's
good.
okay to say.
We're good.
That's where we are, first ones to know.
Nice.
But yeah, so I kind of just took this job as just to help my management skills as a sous chef and help me be more of a team leader. So that way I can reflect it onto Novus and help me engage with my employees better.
Nice. And now we'll come back to that, but tell us about Novus, man. Tell us how like that started, the beginning, leading up to that, etc. And we'll even talk about that like dinner and everything, just like everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Novus I've started about 2017, 2016. A lot has changed. Before it was called like Chef Jordan. We've been through a lot of different name changes, and then January 2019, right at the start, I came back from Italy, and I really wanted to show everyone what I had. I was just 20 years old, so I really wanted to do tasting menus. So what my company does, we do in-home private dinner tasting menus, and we do catering services in Pickering, the GTA, Toronto, you name it, the whole works. So it's a really cool experience. We're doing that mixed with a lot of farm to fork. So it's really shows back to our community being in Durham region and actually allowing the customers to know exactly where their food's coming from.
Beauty. And you're a team now of, technically I guess depends on the gig, but like 2, 3, 4, even 4
yeah,
guys,
so very small team. I've done events up with 10 people, so it always depends. Everyone's on call, so normally
That's amazing.
It's normally just me and Beatrice, Cody sometimes going on, but we have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I remember for you guys, some of you out there on the David Hammond channel, we made a mini doc on Jordan, and that was kind of on his life, but part of that was the farm to fork dinner. So some of you guys, if you guys haven't checked that video, go check it out, okay? It's on the main channel, or you can check it on Jordan's channel. But it was really cool because you were literally able to see every single ingredient building up to the dinner. So like tell them a little bit more on that, because I know that was like a big part we talked about in the mini doc, how like important it was to be able to like see what food and like things like that. Like why do you do that? You know,
yeah. So in the last summer, August 2019, we hosted a farm to fork dinner in collaboration with Novus and Dare to Dream, which is my honey and maple syrup supplier in Clarington, which is Durham region, so super close. And it was a good way. We really wanted to do something to get the community involved and grow Durham region and get people a lot closer together. So what we did, we rented out their barn for the night, and we did a farm to fork dinner. I think we had about 100 people there, and every single item of food was local, and we also had all those suppliers to come to the dinner as well. So it was a really cool way to see meet the farmers itself and actually see exactly where those foods are coming from.
Yeah, it was dope. I remember like the cake lady. We ended up following each other. It was like Dare to Bake. I don't know. No, that was Dare to Dream. Yeah, sick. Okay, cool. So we have that. Now kind of I guess touch a little bit on, because I'm curious to this, but I think this is just like a really cool thing. When I met you, you told me about this more of like the in-home catering thing. Like tell me like more behind the scenes of that. Like why did that start? Like why that? And yeah, kind of how's that going? Because that's really cool.
Yeah. So why that kind of started was, it kind of started off like friends and family dinners. Everyone kind of knew I was like a younger chef, like really wanted to get my name out there. People were like, hey, why don't you come cook with us? Like we're having friends over. We'll pay you like a few $100, get all the food, and just show us what you got. Like just give us a little something. So kind of started off like that, kind of started branching off. A lot more family wanted to do it, a lot more friends kind of do it. And I was like, hey, why don't I make this into like a little side hustle? And that's kind of how things started.
Mm-hmm. Sick. And now would you say, so you're working full time at the brewery. As far as like the in-home catering, is that like what's kind of the balance with that? Is that like a once a week thing? Is like, you know, like where are you at as far as that goes?
So right now I'm at the brewery full time. So I'm normally there 5 to 6 days a week, depending on what's going on, parties, rezos, that sort of thing. And then catering, it's kind of just like, if I have an event, I'll book it off.
Right.
If not, I'll send someone on my behalf.
Right. Sick. Cool. And then, wow. So you have a few things going on then. You have the in-home catering. You have, tell them about the like the food markets and stuff like that.
Oh,
There are quite a few things.
Yeah,
just tell them everything, man.
Yeah, we have so much on the go. One of my favorite things, I really want to get more in connection with the people of Durham region, like getting the name out there. So our very first event was Pickering Rib Fest, which was an absolute blowout. So many people came to visit us. Thousands of people came by our booth. We sold our regular product line, and then from there we kind of got more engaged in the Whitby Rib Fest. We did Scarborough Rib Fest, Pickering Farmers Market, Port Perry Farmers Market. So we really, all of our stuff that we were doing was all in Durham region. So it was a really good way to get our name out there.
Yeah, no, it was perfect. I keep envisioning Adri's the girlfriend, just watching this and just being in awe. Okay, sick. What's kind of the next thing? The next flex? 6 minutes right now. Okay, what would you see as far as 2020, as it is now, like January 3rd? What are the first? Tell them like the milestone, like that, the number you hit, and then not that I'm not saying numbers matter by any means, like it's all a process, but like it is kind of a cool gauge here and there. Yeah. And then for 2020, what are some like things you want to just crack?
So 2019, like, first year actually taking a lot more serious, doing it full time with Novu, selling our regular product line, in-home private dining, experiences, catering, farmers markets, booths all over the place. So I'm really excited to say that we have sold over 3,000 products throughout the whole year, Durham region and across Ontario. I've even shipped products both ends of Canada. So it's really cool way to see how far my product has actually traveled. And it's a really good way to see how people are using those products.
And yeah, not to cut you off. Do you, like, I know some of them you make the products, like, do you make all of them? Like, how does that work? Because I know like there's like the sauces, there's this, like they're quite, tell them like what products, you know?
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
so sorry, all the different products. So we're doing handmade pasta, which I'm making myself. The flour is going to be local. My eggs are local. So same thing, linking back to the farm to fork. Everything I want to use tells a story. So when I'm doing my pasta sauce, I'm importing tomatoes from Milan. So I'm doing San Marzano tomatoes in there. So with local onions, local garlic, olive oil from Italy as well. We're doing like a roasted red pepper jelly from one of our red pepper suppliers in Durham region. So everything really tells a story. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and it was so good. Jordan hooked me up with after the Rib Fest, what would you even call it? Like a block of spaghetti, like a package. Like a really nice package, and then the sauce, dude, it was nuts. And it was crazy because I remember getting it, and I was thinking like, yo, I'm a big guy, like this. It was for me and Adrian. I was like, this isn't gonna be enough, man, dude. It was plenty. It was nuts. You always forget that, like how I guess spaghetti just blows up, you know? Yeah, let them know. I think because I really know how you're going super hard with the importance of, you know, whether the food's local or whether you kind of know the supplier, things like that, where I feel it could be very easy to just kind of like put that under the bus and just be like, yeah, whatever, fuck it. Like, I'll just get any product I want. No one will know. Like why? Like, why is that? Why is that such a big thing?
Like, I think for me, there was like a lot of importance growing up, like knowing where your food is coming from. There's so like millions of documentaries and a lot of talks, blogs, you name it, about eating local, eating better quality food, knowing where your food is coming from. So it's things like that really touches my heart. Like, I really want to know exactly who's growing my tomatoes, who's growing my potatoes. So I want to know those people. So I'll actually go to the farm, talk to them, see the different how climate change like is affecting the growing seasons, things like that.
Yeah, and I can fully back this up on the mini doc. If you guys saw, like, you know, none of the farmers knew I was coming. You know, it was completely candid, and I saw everything, being able to see how it was done. So, yeah, it was awesome. Okay, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back a little bit now. Now that they're up to speed, they know your story, they know what you're doing, they know you're killing it with Novus. let's bring it back to, I feel like we're doing the mini doc all over again. Let's bring it back years ago when, why'd you want to start cooking? What inspired you to do that? But like in a different way. Cause I feel like we've already said that in the mini doc, like, why'd you want to start cooking? Is the family, we'll talk about it later. Why'd you want to start cooking?
So why I wanted to start cooking, I probably remember being in the kitchen 5-6 years old. So I remember my mom, grandmother would always throw me right up on the counter. I'd watch them cook. It's something that always interests me. Like growing up, like food was something that always got the family together. And for me growing up, I've always been like a good family man. So food is one of those things, whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, or Easter, it's something that everyone brings the family and friends together. And then from there, I really started baking. So before I was actually cooking more, I used to be a baker. I used to hate cooking. I used to always been baking cakes, muffins, things like that, pastries, growing up in my elementary school, let's say. And then come high school, I kind of started a co-op. And it was one of those things. It's like my parents like, are you sure you really want to be a chef? It's like everyone, like they really wanted me to be on the fence. It's like, no, Mom, like it's more than a job to me. This is going to be my passion.
And when did you know that this is really what you want to do? When did it go from hobby to like, I'm a chef?
I think the biggest transaction would have been after my George Brown career. So after I came back from Italy and started doing a lot more things with Novus, because even in Italy, I had some times, it's like really hard times. And like, I thought to myself, is this really what you want to do for the rest of your life? So it kind of goes on with that. And as soon as I came back, and it's like, I thought a few questions back to my head. It's like, why are you here? Like, this is the reason why you chose to do this path. So you're going to prove everyone that you can do it.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit, if you're cool with it. Tell us about the Italy experience. Cause I remember you told me a little bit, like paint that picture. How it's like.
So Italy was a pretty crazy experience. So while I was there, I worked in 2 Michelin stars. So I did a Michelin star in Abruzzo, right on the coast of San Salvo. Wasn't really the best restaurant, super quiet kind of things in the off season. So I got transferred up to Piemonte in another Michelin star restaurant there. Super busy, really good brigade of people, and really learned a lot more of like cuisine, the history, and why they do things that way.
But like, how'd they make you work?
Yeah, so working conditions were absolutely insane. Like everyone always used to tell me, it's like, oh, like, be careful, like, you're gonna be working like 60, 80, 100 hours a week. And like, I went there and those were the hours that I was doing, like doing 90 hours, 100-hour weeks. And you just kept pushing through. You used to be able to do like 20-hour days without a break. And
that's
you
nuts.
you just kept pushing. Like they did not care about breaks, eating, any of that.
Right. Like the culture is very different. It's much more like, it's a lot serious to them.
Yeah.
Right?
All you did was work and sleep.
Yeah, literally. Like, what was the sleep? Like, I remember you said like, I don't know, you like worked till like 1 a.m. and like woke up back at like 5 or something like that. Or
yeah.
So
very small like turnarounds. Like you'd go home, the first thing you'd want to do is just go right to bed, because you have to be up the next morning for like 6 a.m.
Straight back to work. That was kind of like the because I feel like that would turn off a lot of people, knowing that it's such an extreme. But to you, is that like what pushed you? Was that
for me? Is that something that's really pushed me even harder? Because a lot of people, like, I'll say this now, it's like a lot of people really love fine dining. A lot of people really love like those fancy eatings, but no one actually knows the work, the time, the effort that actually goes 100%. Into that. And those, like, that sort of aspect, no one will ever see.
Right. And I really relate with that, because with outdoor photography in particular, you know, everyone loves like the fancy when you're in Bali or on the sunset with the beach, like how cozy it is. No one talks about when you're in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, freezing cold, -30, you're lost, you're hungry, you have no clue why you're doing this. And it's but like that pushes you, you know, that literally drives you. And I think that's what separates at least you and I from a lot of people, because like you almost, it's very hard to explain, but like there's a part of you that loves that pain. Yeah, it's very weird.
It's kind of hard to explain. Like I've been there too. It's just like, even though I'm doing 100 hours a week, I still love it. There's something about it. It's just like I can do it, and you probably can't. Literally.
Awesome. Okay, let's talk about like friends, family, things like that. How's the family with all this? You know?
Yeah, so family's super on board. Like obviously they always believed in me, and like now being on CTV like last year as well, so really good milestone. And with Novus, Chef Jordan, which they came to the Pickering Farmers Market. So like the more things I'm getting out my name, growing out my name, like especially being in the community, Durham region's pretty small, Pickering's pretty small, so they're really appreciative of those small things that I'm doing. Right.
Did you face any resistance with family or friends, maybe in the initial phases? phases? Maybe as things got bigger, like what were kind of those like spikes where you're like, whoa, I didn't expect this?
I think like the very first like initial steps is like my parents like weren't super on board as soon as I went into culinary. It was one of those things like I already linked back to it. Like, is this really what you want to do? And it's like, I think so. And like you would second guess yourself because I haven't had my feet in the deep water yet.
Mm-hmm. And then sorry, one sec. And then as far as parents go, when was it, I guess, the turning point where they were like, all right, bet, you know what? You're pretty good at this. Like what I guess proved to them, or?
I think the biggest thing is like me always taking initiative. Like my parents never once told me to like start Novus. My parents once never dragged me like to Pickering Farmers Market to do Rib Fest. Like everything that I do, Novus, Chef Jordan, like everything has been myself. Like it's very hard to get like influences like to go that way, because like me and David talked in our last mini documentary, like me doing this the very first year, there's a lot of challenges, there's a lot of ups and downs, and you don't really know which direction you're walking. You're always in the one wearing the blindfold, and even though if you don't have the correct answers, you have to have them. Yeah.
So that's actually an amazing point. What did you do in those times? Because I remember with Jordan, like the mini doc, I was asking like, hey man, when are we going to film the bada bada boom? He was like, well, probably not this, because I got to be up at 6 a.m. to drive out like an hour here. And I'm like, man, like you're going ham with this. What was... Because I'm just envisioning myself, you know, back starting what I was doing. Like there were tons, even now, but there were tons of times where I would drive like, man, 3-4 hours for like no guarantee that like this is going to be good. Like what helped you in those times keep going? Because like you said, you're wearing a blindfold. Like no one's telling you like, hey, buddy, there's the gold here. Like you're just, you know.
I think one of the biggest things is like the passions, like the drive. Like you have to be determined to do those things. And it's the same way. It's like not everyone really cares about farm to fork. For some people, food is food. Like everyone like would rather eat takeout than have a nice like home cooked meal. But for me, like driving 3 hours north to go get eggs that were hatched that day means a lot more than me driving around the corner to go get eggs. So it's things like that. It's like I personally noticed the difference of about the quality in my product. To go out to my clients as well.
I think the biggest thing though is a lot of people aren't like, kind of the sad thing is that a lot of people aren't really going to know the effort you put in, but you will. Like you can fool everybody, but you can't fool yourself. And I think that's the most important foundation. Like if you know you've been to the extremes, dude, you're chilling. Like when you come back to that, you know, metaphorically, that sunny beach analogy, you're chilling, you're cruising because you know you've been 4 hours out of nowhere. You've been to Italy where like you get 2 hours of sleep, you're up at like 4 a.m. That's awesome, man, how you're taking that serious. And I think to you guys, the creators out there, one of the, like when you said that stuff, man, it fired me up again because it reminded me of there are more people out there who are going so hard, you know, and this is kind of a question to you, but maybe you guys, what would you say to some people who maybe want to be a chef or a photographer, or whatever it is, but they're not like pushing themselves to that extreme, you know? Is it just not meant for you? Like, do you have advice to that? Like, what would you say?
I think for me, it's like I've even had a lot of those times. It's like what I said. It's like, is this really what you want to do? And I think the biggest thing is like you really have to take a step back. You're not to take a breather. It's like, is this what you want to do? Yes, but why do you want to do it? So that's another question you have to ask yourself. And it's the same thing. It's like, do you have a passion? Do you love what you do? Because at the end of the day, like it's not just a career. Like it's gonna be your passion. Like this is what you're gonna be doing for your life.
100%. Cool, man. 18 minutes. All right. What is the next thing? I'm trying to think. Is there anything that you want to say to like turn the convo a certain way, or anything you kind of think right now?
Right.
This again, man. This is like all up. None of this is scripted. We're chilling. We're talking. This is a creator chat.
I think one of the biggest questions is moving into 2020. Like, what collabs do you think we can bring the viewers, like between the two of us?
Awesome. You and me?
Yeah.
Oh. Like, dude, I'm so stoked, man. So as a bit of context to you guys, like I am, man, like. I'm still in like, I think we're always in a building phase and we're always in a process. You know, you guys can call this cheesy, whatever you want, but like I truly believe, I was telling this to Jordan off camera, like 2020 is, okay, this is actually what I was saying to you. This might sound a little like up in the air to some of you, but I think the reason a lot of people feel 2020 is such a big year is it's very tangible. I call it kind of like a manifestation year, or really you think of like an iceberg analogy, because I started this whole creator entrepreneurship up and down failing businesses starting back in 2016, and now it's 2020, which is 4 years later. The number 4 to me is very symbolic with full circle or coming home, because if you look at a square, right, you look at a square, there's 4 sides. You look at high school, you look at college, there's always 4 years. A lot of things in life, very important, pivotal milestones, they take about 4 years. Why? I don't know. You just look throughout history, it's like, oh, how long have you been doing it? 4 years. I think 2020 for all of us creators, whether you're a chef, whatever you want to call me, like people that have been putting in the work, I truly believe now it's like that iceberg analogy where there's water, there's the whole year. Now we're just like, dude, we're capping like, and the thing is once you cap over the water, there's no limit. Like there's no cap. Like you know what I'm saying?
Off.
The hardest part's done. Your base, like you literally can, So I think that's so awesome. Like collabs, man. Jeez, man, I'd love to create some dope stuff with Jordan. What's kind of like, okay, you know what? Let's go all the way. Capping it up. What are some big, and I'll kind of touch on mine, big goals as far as like maybe a restaurant, maybe a this, maybe here. Where do you want to live when you're older? Like what are kind of those tangible things you're kind of
those small things that I'm feeling? Yeah. So, now going into the new year, like a lot, looking back at the past, like, 3,000 is a good number, but it's like in my head, it's like, okay, I sold 3,000 products, but what's next? It's like, how can I make myself better? In my head, it's like, why was that number only 3,000? Why couldn't it have been 5,000? Why couldn't it have been 10,000? So what can I do now in 2020 to double those numbers, to triple those numbers?
100%. And would you say as far as, like for me as an example, big goals for 2020 that I've told this podcast, I've told every single person 1,001 times for me is the condo and now a little office. Like for 2020, if I'm going to get two things, man, it's my own little condo area and my own little office for exactly this.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking tiny, but like exactly this, an assistant, little things like that. So like what for you are maybe some more tangible things like that?
Okay.
That can be out of the scope. Like I want to start making cookies, you know what I mean? Or like whatever.
Small things like that. I think
it can be big.
The
goals.
Like real more like some of my goals is to now that I'm working full time, I really want to hire more of a staff to do like my markets and things like that, my dinner parties, and I can just send people off. So that's kind of where I am, but I'm always going to be the one coming out to the bigger events, doing things behind the computer. So I'm going to be growing my company in as many ways possible for this year. Man.
I'm stoked for the social media aspect, that side. I feel like 2020 for that will and again I could be wrong, but I feel like what's kind of your plan as far as, do you want to go harder maybe on YouTube or Instagram? Because like your front end is like solid as far as like the farm to fork, the dinners, the employees. As far as like the back end, like I'm thinking like Jordan Diniz, like globally, like I'm thinking guys in like India or whatever being like, oh dude, I watch you, like can I like,
I think
what's kind of your take on that?
Like now we kind of talked about it like in the fall, and I really got backed up with work, new jobs, that kind of whole transaction. But I really wanted to start doing like the whole, not even just podcasts, doing a lot more videos of
media,
of YouTubes. Like I really want to show people like the behind the scenes.
I would love
because
that.
one thing you'll see on my Instagram, I never show people behind the scenes. So I really want to prove the point to people, like what actually goes in, like as you saw in like the mini documentary. It's like that thing was so interesting. Like I know David loves seeing
that's my
seeing
favorite
that
mini
stuff.
Doc, not to like shit on the other. That was the last one I did. Like I'm not doing another one for like at least a few years. Like that was my cap I wanted for the website. I'm so stoked with how that went. Sorry, keep going.
Yes, that was one of my favorite things. It's like I really want to show people like the back end. Like for me, like watching videos and stuff, it's like the stuff in the front's cool, but it's like how do they do all that stuff?
Right. Dude, I feel like we're the same, man. Again, it's this 2020 energy. That's the same thing with me with photo and video. That's why I want a second shooter. Like I want more. Dude, how did we set this up? Why are we? Anyways, enough about me. But that's actually a big reason why like I wanted you to really push social media and stuff, because I know how. I mean, I don't even know, but I know how much work you're putting in back end, and that's why that mini doc, I think, like that just showed a bit. That didn't even show a ton. Like that showed just like that
was just like one like a 3-day shoot.
That was like an average Monday, bro. That was like a Wednesday, whatever. Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. Do you plan, I guess, 2020 to like, bring up the behind the scenes a bit more? Is that something like later on when?
Yeah, I think like behind the scenes is really cool. Like when I always tell people, it's like what are you doing this weekend? It's like, oh, like I have an event like on Sunday, but on Saturday I have to go 2 hours north to go get eggs. It's like, why drive 2 hours north for eggs for $3 when you can go to the grocery store and
get a behind the scenes vlog or something? Yeah, no, dude, I think like 100%, like some sort of like vlog, or it doesn't have to be a vlog, but just like a behind the scenes, like, dude, literally your camera holding that, what's going on, guys, we're going here, dude. I would binge watch that stuff. I would go nuts with them. So guys, comment down below, Jordan vlog 2020, let's get it. Sick. All right, 24 minutes. What's the next thing? We've covered quite a bit, but I know there's still. Is there anything your gut's kind of telling you to like?
I'm trying to think of like the bigger goals.
doesn't even have to be goals per se. Just Hmm. Hmm. See, this is where it'd be nice, actually, down the road to start getting a few questions from like people that, you know, like your fan base, whatever. Just a few questions where we can do better. But we don't have them now, so that was my bad. Soon, yeah, down the road. Okay, where are you? Okay, let's talk maybe about more of like assistants or employees or people that can help you, because this is a big thing that I'm noticing, at least, you know, right now in my life, and especially going down forward. And I think this can be a pivotal thing for a lot of people, like the importance of having hands to help you.
Yeah.
You know, like tell them about that. Because like, what if you were at the Rib Fest by yourself? Like, how would that go?
That would not be fun. Well, yeah, there's a lot of hands that actually go involved with it. Like, even with my family helping me package 600 brownies, for example.
Dang.
It's like things like that people will never see, or packaging popcorn. Like, I have so many like little hands that people actually help me with, like doing the market. Beatrice is a huge help. She runs the market in the summer by herself.
Wow. Shout out to Beatrice.
Yeah, while I do, like, for example, like last July, August, September, she fully had the Pickering Farmers Market taken over because I got asked to teach a class. So I don't know if I told you that I was teaching a class.
Like a food?
Yeah, I was teaching a cooking class at East Shore Community Center in Pickering.
Sick.
So everyone in the class was like 55 plus. It was like a senior center. So it was like super cool. Like the city of Pickering asked me to come give them a hand. So it was like my curriculum, and like basically what the program was called is called Food Around the World. So I didn't really have much direction. It's like they've never actually run this class before, and I was the first one. They're like, do you have any ideas? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'm sure I can like whip up a little package. And they're like, okay, great, well, we're gonna need your package by tomorrow morning. And I was like, okay.
Nice.
Well, I did like 7 different countries, and I was like, here are the 7 different countries, 3 recipes each. And I was like, this is where we're learning. So I had a really small class, about eight people, so it was a really good way to get one-on-one. So this is like the first one we did like handmade pasta, so everyone was just like blown away. Nice. Everyone's like, we thought this was gonna be more of like a cooking demo, but I was like, no, like this is gonna be hands-on. So we'll do like things like that. We'll do sushi, we'll do like gyozo. Sick. So it's like really hands-on work. It's like, so you guys actually can take those skills and do them at home.
100%. Is it kind of like, not to downgrade it, but is it kind of like, I was a kid, I went to like those Loblaws classes where they like make like cakes and stuff, where there's like a teacher up front, he has like this massive like thing, he's cutting up, and you're just like little students, kind of like that?
My class was like a lot more different. Like everyone, like we had chairs and stuff, and I was never big on chairs. Some people are like a little bit older, so they couldn't sit down for too long, like, which I totally understand. But like we had a huge table at the front, so I really wanted everyone to like come up, and I was like, the whole class is going to be done standing up, and I was like, I'm here to teach you guys, I'm not here for myself. So everything was really together, which is really cool.
That's really cool. So yeah, the next question I kind of want to ask you, now that we were talking about how like the community reached out about that, how do you see yourself as far as like teaching goes down the road? Like I always ask guests, or think of like, you know, those master classes you see of like Gordon Ramsay and stuff,
things like
would you want to teach people, whether that's on like online, YouTube, in person? How are you on that? Yeah,
so yesterday, like funny to say again, like somebody asked me this question. Someone's like, how do you feel about like teaching? And I was like, yeah, I think it's cool and stuff. Like I've done it for a little bit, but I never really thought about it long term. They're like, would you ever go to like teachers college or like anything like that? It's like right now I feel like I'm way too young to even like think about that.
Yeah, I
was like, that's something
college.
Like I was like way too early. I was like, that's something I'd do like give me 10, 20, like 30 years from now. And I was like, my goal would just be to be running up a restaurant, having like a good staff running it, and then also teaching like a few classes at George Brown. So it's really cool to be able to do both, and like also influence like the younger generation, so I can give them the same thing, like the advice on like what mistakes did I make growing up. Like I made a lot of mistakes, 100%. Don't get me wrong, but just to teach them so they wouldn't make the same mistakes. Yeah, man, because I think of like all entrepreneurs, whatever name you want to give it, I think of, you know, speaking, like as far as some of my goals, speaking down the road, a book. How do you see about that? Like, your own like cookbook? Like, dude, there's so many ideas, man. Like cookbook is like always too. Like I have crazy phases, like whatever it is, whether like spoon, like whether it be like equipment, or like if I go through like a honey phase, if I'm going through a maple phase. I went through a honey phase, and I was ordering honeys from around the world just because I just want to do trial and error and just see what works best for me. Yeah, would you see yourself wanting to create like a book down the road? Like, yeah, so book right now, it's like I'm totally open. Like I share all my recipes. If somebody wanted something from me, I'd totally share it. Like I'm not one of those chefs that's like, no, like this is my book. Like you can't read anything. It's just like like I have like my own personal cookbooks, like that, all of my recipes, handwritten notes, and like recipes that's been passed down to generations. But like all those recipes are being compiled into like one big book right now. So I actually do like have probably a few hundred recipes of my own family recipes, and like hopefully somewhere in the near future I'd want to get that published.
That would be really cool. Or even just like an ebook or something like that, like a
Yeah.
simplified version.
Something
Just like
super
10
small.
Yeah, just like 10, 12 recipes. I think a lot of people would like.
Mhm.
See, I'm always of like, I always think things of like digitally and like socially, like
Yeah.
less tangible, more like passive income,
So,
right? Like courses, even coaching, or like ebooks, things like that. Man, I think you have like so much potential with that. That's why I asked about like the teaching. Like, man, like create like courses, like because I'm very visual, right? This is how I think.
Mhm.
Courses on you, a book, ebook, like even coaching, man. Like that's
There's so many like different directions to go, and like same thing with like the YouTube thing. It's just
that's
like,
what I mean.
yeah, do the behind the scenes stuff, but like
yeah.
do some recipes as well, or like do like a little cooking bit, or
yeah.
do like you see like all those like hot ones, and you see like all those cool little cooking
Man.
shows, and like those gets like millions of views. And, like,
Man,
that's the stuff that's so interesting. On
this
like
is
if
what
I
I
want
always
to have
push. Yeah,
David on, for example,
Yeah.
and we'll do some like
dude,
recreation of
that
hot
is-
ones.
Yo, that's all right, bro. They said a collab, man. That's gonna be it. I'm gonna bring the lights. We're gonna set everything up. You're gonna like, it's gonna make a little like, man. How long do you plan to be like? You're gonna be at your house for obviously like a while longer.
Yeah, for definitely.
Because your kitchen is like immaculate, man. Yo, guys, I'm calling this right now. A little like Jordan show, where it's like, and you even have lights and a camera too. I can help you with that. We set that up. You're gonna cook. You have like your white thing, and like I'm the guest, and it's like almost like a fun thing, like a blindfold. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like you make me something, or it's just like I think of hot ones.
yeah.
Don't kill me. Like don't give me something stupid. But like, man. Yo, dude, Jordan, at the end of this podcast, bro, got it. We're pushing.
have to
I'm
do
pushing
that.
YouTube on you, man. Like, I know how interesting your life is, and I think that's the thing. Like, as creators, we forget. We're like, we do it every day. We're like, it's not that cool, man. To an outside person, like, this is just an example. It's fucking cool, man. It's really cool. So I'm pushing.
Yeah,
YouTube
I'm saying
on
we
you,
have to
man.
make that happen.
Definitely, dude. That is, and then just do what I'm doing. Have a bunch of guests, and then through that, I don't know, speak about cooking or whatever. That'd be cool. And then the cookbook, the this, yeah, cool. And I guess I'm saying this to you guys too. Like, yeah, no, never mind. Yeah, that I'm stoked with that. 33 minutes. Okay. Anything else? We're at about like half an hour now. I want to like. I'm trying to like extract all the gold from you, man, because I don't want to look back at this and be like, oh, we could have talked about this or this. Is anything coming to you?
Me?
I mean, we can finish it here, man, but I feel like there's like one more thing.
Yeah, I feel like we need to end this podcast like
feel
a good bang.
I feel like there's something, man. Just, Didn't you do a little like podcasty like cooking thing with like 3 other guys where you kind of like talked about food a little bit?
I know, like I mentioned that to you. Like we really want to get that up and running. Like the same thing, have people on like the YouTube thing, but we never
It just didn't
never
get
got
around.
around to it. Like I have something else like interesting we can talk about. So
Sure.
somebody from St. Mary's, grade 12, can't remember his name, but contacted me a few weeks ago. And he wanted to get involved. So what they wanted to do like a food truck.
Nice.
For like the less fortunate people that are homeless. So super cool thing. So I'm actually working with him right now, and hopefully we can get some ideas up and running for Pickering, which would be super cool. So they really want to get a food truck and get a lot of food donated, and then basically just go around and give out free food.
Dude, that's awesome. And I know it may sound bad, but like, record that. I know, like,
That's something that's like super cool, because same thing. It's like, yeah, eating local, but it's like going back and like giving back to like your community is one of the biggest like heart to heart. So you can never have with someone.
Yeah, honestly, I'm still fixated on that video idea at your house. It's gonna be cool. All right, well, you know what? I think that maybe something will come to us when we finish this outro here. But guys, that is more or less it. I think next time I'll make sure we do a little Q&A just to wrap it up, because I think that'd be a bit more intimate with like people can ask you stuff, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna finish there, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Jordan, do you have any like last kind of words or last little hit of just advice that you'd give to your younger self? Yeah, just like, you know what? Like, yeah, hold up on the outro. What would be some advice? We'll kind of wrap it up here. What would be some advice now, knowing where you are now, right? Of course, there's still going to be challenges for us both, and there's a lot of uncertainty. But where you are now with your feet in the ground, what would you tell yourself even just like a few years ago?
Okay, I think a few years ago it would more so be like go slow. Like don't jump the gun on everything. Like, yeah, a lot of people say I went way too fast and started my own catering company, but I don't think I did. I think I'm doing great of where I am right now, getting out my name and doing everything that I did. Yeah, I fall in many different times, and there's a lot of ups and downs with the company, but those are the things that like grow, and like you get past that and you build a new patch.
So take risks, be bold.
Mm-hmm.
Don't listen for people to tell you, okay, now you can do it. Actually, you know what? Wait a couple more years. Yeah, do it yourself, 100%. Like,
Yeah.
you know, this is a small example, like with this podcast. And it goes back to like the thing you said by taking initiative. No one's going to tell you to do stuff. Like, no one's going to say, all right, David, you ever thought about starting up that podcast? And you should have guests over. Like, it's just, no one's really going to push you or care. You know, it's like, you're going to have to take these risks. And that's why, you know, maybe I am pushing you with like the social media thing, but like, you already want to do that. You already have all these ideas. And anyways, bunch of stuff. I think that's the biggest takeaway for you guys. Be your own, as cheesy as it sounds, be your own boss, but not even boss that, you know, when it comes to money, like, tell yourself to do stuff, man. Set your own stuff, build your own stuff. Like, no one, I'm sure, like, where'd you get the idea for catering? Like, I'm sure no one told you, like, no one sat you down and was just like, hey buddy, start this.
Yeah, that's the same thing that goes back with like always being open-minded. Like, you're going to be the self with the blindfold every single day. So biggest thing would just be to take initiative, and no one's going to tell you to do anything. So if you want something done right, you're going to have to do it yourself.
Right. And then how do you deal, I don't even think this is like the outro, but like, how do you deal with, you know, risk and possible failures or setbacks? What's your mindset with that? Because I think this is very important for a lot of people to like understand.
Yeah, so 2019, I'll say like we've done a lot of markets, like Ribfest markets, farmers markets, you name it. There's been a lot of bad ones and there's also been a lot of good ones. So moving into 2020, like I really toned it down, and before like I'd jump on every single opportunity that I could in 2019, and 2020, like going back to taking a little bit slower. So it's really choosing the right ones instead of hopping on every single one, because a lot of ones brought us down and a lot of ones brought us even more up. So I think the biggest thing would be just to take a lot slower and making sure you're getting the right content.
It's funny you say that, because I feel in like the hero's journey, it kind of starts like this, where like it's funny, like you kind of start off, how do I say this? You always do a whole bunch, and then when you get kind of good at something, you slow down a lot. And what I mean is like you're much more strategic or thought out. So like with visuals as an example, when you first start off, like you're shooting everything. Like I'm shooting this, I'm shooting you, I'm shooting this. And then as things progress, I've noticed that a lot actually. Like you're just much more selective with what you do.
Yeah, it's a lot more bigger of a filter.
Yeah, exactly. Which may seem to some people like, I don't know, a bad thing, but that's just very natural. So if you notice you're a musician or whatever, and you know, you're not making 10 songs a week, you're much more thought out and melodic. It's kind of like a quality over quantity thing. You know what I mean? So, all right. I think that is pretty good. We're at about 38 minutes now. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed talking with Jordan. If you guys want to hit Jordan up, always links are going to be down below. Check him out, guys. Check out the YouTube, because I got a good feeling, man.
It's coming.
Like, your social media and stuff, man, your YouTube, like you have some really good stuff going, and like I would love to see behind the scenes, because I know how cool that. I don't know another chef like in this area. Like you're literally like one of a kind, as cheesy as it sounds. Like I literally. But anyways, guys, we're going to finish it there. Thank you all so much for watching. Jordan, is there any like last little one word you just want to say to anyone out there?
One word? I would just like to say thank you, our host, David, for having me. Always a pleasure to do another collab.
100%.
But we're looking forward to 2020. It's going to be a really big year, and we're going to be growing both.
Let's get it. Many more to come. All right, guys, thank you so much. As always, links down below. We'll talk to you guys in the next one. With that, much love.
Perfect.
Peace. Beep, beep, beep. That's it.
Perfect.
That was awesome. Good stuff. And that was a great time.